Hello, and welcome to Of All the Places podcast. My name is John Wick.
And I'm Katie.
Sister Katie and Benjamin.
The juice.
The juice. He's back. He's back, ladies and gentlemen, the juice. Katie, I feel like I haven't seen you in a long time. How are things? You guys have been on the road playing some music?
Things are good. We've been out. We just did 6 shows in 8 days, I think we counted, or 9 days. So we did a little mini Montana tour.
Do you have anything fun? Did anything crazy happen on this little mini tour?
Yes.
I feel like every time you come home, something like you have a really cool story.
Well, at our Bozeman show, our best friend got into a fist fight.
Yeah.
And then we had to convince the bouncer to let him back in, which we did successfully. So all's well that ends well.
Love that.
And then we went up to the Flathead for a really fun festival called Cabin Fever Days.
Nice.
And there was girls giving haircuts in the bathroom.
Oh my!
I walked in after our set and there's 6 inches of hair all over the floor. And there was a girl in there just giving out, not just a trim, chopping hair in the bathroom.
When I grow up, I want to be you guys. Can we make that happen?
Yeah, we can do that.
I want to just go to places where haircuts happen in the bathroom.
Yeah, the haircuts were of note.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to see you two again.
I know, it's
Welcome
good to
home.
see you. Thanks.
We're back in the podcast game.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a special one for you. Mark Garff is in the studio tonight. And Mark's kind of a jack of all trades. Not a jack of all trades. The dude is just he does so much of so much. Does that make sense?
Well, he does everything.
Yeah, he's passionate about a lot of things.
He has a lot of hobbies, and we love that about him.
He's a hobbyist, but that's not even his real job. His real job is he's a landscape architect. He's the first ever
in Butte.
In Butte, which is kind of an interesting concept to be the first landscape anything in a Superfund site.
Yeah. Well, and this is special because this is our final guest episode.
Yeah, we're wrapping up season 1.
And Mark's also enthusiastic about mixology, and he's gonna make us some drinks.
Oh my gosh.
So we're gonna explore a few different cocktails.
Things could go south in a hurry.
In this episode.
We're doing it.
So, I mean, we're in it. We're doing it.
That's right. Well, let's hope he mixes up something delicious.
I think it's gonna be great.
Or 2 or 3.
Yeah, probably at least 3.
All right. Mark Garff, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoy it. Of All the Places podcast. Here we go. Juice time.
Of all the places, of all the places, of all the places, why here,
Throw one more out there. We're a great start.
An amazing start. We are just a few sips in, and welcome.
This is why I didn't sleep last night.
The drinking episode.
Because this is the episode that has the highest chance to just straight go off the rails.
I hope it does.
I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm. I'm here for it.
That's why we came today.
Mark Garff, what are we drinking? What'd you mixologist up for us?
Well, hopefully that gets on the B-roll, but we're starting slow. So we made a Cape Cod, which is the easiest drink to make. Vodka, cranberry, squeeze of lime. Easy, 3 ingredients, very refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
You might say it's kind of a sorority girl drink. I don't care. I think it's good.
It's good
and worth it.
Cranberry juice is really good for you.
It's super good for you.
So health and
making
wellness.
us healthier.
Yeah.
But we wanted to start slow because we're going to step it up later.
Whoa.
Well, I like anything that's a color. I'll drink anything colored. I don't care.
Just
closer to pink, the better.
John likes the sweet stuff.
Give it to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What I've learned about you.
What do you
call this Cape Cod?
Cape Cod.
Isn't this a cosmopolitan-ish?
No.
Okay, give it to me.
No.
From all angles.
Katie and I are like, no.
Okay.
No, cosmopolitan. What does that have that the Cape Cod doesn't? It's got
something in addition to this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to remember because I never make them. It's just not my kind of drink.
I don't make them, but I do drink them
that's a full
often.
sorority.
But it's not ever this color. It's much lighter in color than this. And there's just not as much cranberry juice. And there's also an additional ingredient that is escaping me. But
I think is it soda?
No.
Oh.
No, it's not like any fizzy.
Huh.
I just had 4 last week, so I should know.
I feel bad that I don't know this. Can we phone a friend?
Oh,
Are you looking
wait.
it up right now?
Please.
Ben, can you
Ben's
have to
our
be
fact
like
checker.
you're our fact checker. This is our first fact check.
Yeah.
So the ingredients in a Cosmopolitan.
And we'll get back to you right after
Yeah,
this.
well, right after this brief messaging. But it is different, and it's more in like martini grade.
Okay.
Yeah. It's got some more ingredients. It might be a little stronger than this.
It's definitely stronger.
Yeah. Yeah. But we're going to ease in.
Well, thanks for your armchair expertise.
I mean, I didn't know the ingredients of a Cosmo.
Oh, and that's why you didn't mix it for us.
Right. And if it's not something
That's why we didn't make it.
normally,
Yeah.
you normally do, then
Ask me the ingredients to a tiki drink, and I bet I can just like.
Tiki drinks are where it's at.
it's triple sec.
Oh, triple sec. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, so triple sec is the lowest level of orange liqueur. It's the bottom shelf orange
Yeah,
liqueur.
so it should be made with something different.
I bet if you made it with Cointreau or like Grand Marnier,
Well, that's probably how fancy places do it.
that would take it to the next level.
Yeah.
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 But triple sec is just corn, it's like corn syrup
It's
water.
orange, like
It's
syrup.
it's orange flavored alcohol syrup water.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah. It's not good.
Yeah.
And this is one of the main reasons why I wanted you to come on this podcast.
For the alcohol?
Yeah. we need reasons to drink around here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like we enjoy fun.
I'm
And that's the invite.
But also, you're
Thank
cool
you.
and interesting. And John might know a lot about you, but I don't. I just have very small bits of information that I already think are cool. So
the tiniest bits.
I have like just the sprinkles of information about you.
We're going to expand.
We need to expand. I need to know how you got here because you're not from Montana.
I'm not from Montana. No, I'm not from Butte. And I just made a splash in Butte, the front page of the Montana Standard.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But so I think my Montana origin story probably starts at the cabin. So the family cabin, my grandfather built a cabin on Hebgen Lake, which is barely in Montana, by the way, right? It's
It's in that little like thumb.
It's in the little dip
Yeah.
between Wyoming and Idaho. But it's definitely Montana. So he built a cabin on Hebgen Lake in 1948, and my family still owns this cabin, except now I share it with 20 of my closest first cousins, their wives, their children, their children's children. And let's just say, even though this cabin was built, to sleep 14 and has 3 bathrooms, it's under a lot of pressure. So Ginger and I, that's my wife, by the way. So Ginger and I, we started closing the cabin for the season. And it's a big job. It takes like a day and a half because this plumbing's all cobbled together and you have to drain all these different systems. You've got to totally winterize the cabin, get every drop of water out, or you're going to break something come spring. So it takes forever. No one else wants to do it. And so we started closing it. And on the way home, we started stopping in Butte because we were living in Seattle at the time, and it's a 13-hour drive, and we were beat up, and so we'd stop in Butte. And we discovered Uptown and all of the amazing historic buildings and just the stories. We could see how the landscape had been changed over time, but we didn't understand it yet. We didn't understand the pit or the mine or the history that makes Butte. We didn't understand that yet, but we began to, over time, learn about it. We were reading books. Then we stayed in the Hotel Finland, and then we started looking at some of the housing stock here. And this is all, 2010, 2012, 2015. This is back when you could still buy the Helsinki and the entire block to the east for like $125,000.
Yeah.
And I wish we had done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and then eventually, it's people say this all the time. Butte gets under your skin. We're like, but it does. And we kept wanting to come back. So we're like, well, can we handle Butte in the winter? So we came back in December, and it was like 7 degrees. And I remember we were at Butte Brewing, and everyone got like a winter storm warning on their phone. Like, I don't think they do this anymore, but it was like, it's like a Amber Alert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's like winter storm, like rolling in, get off the highway. And we looked out the window, and this wall of weather was just coming across the valley. And we're like, oh my God, this is the coolest place ever.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they'll do that once in a while.
It's a vortex.
Yeah.
It is. We get some. It is a vortex.
Yeah. And then Ginger, my wife's an architect, and so she found this house up on Antimony Street. So I like to say that we live on the Upper West Side of Butte.
It sounds so posh.
It does sound so posh.
So posh.
But really, it's the end of a street that doesn't have enough houses on it, and like a couple of buildings falling in, and like many streets in Butte.
Yeah.
But there's this beautiful house at the end of Antimony that was a Gustav Stickley craftsman, and he was first he was a furniture designer, and then he started designing houses. And Ginger was like, we have to buy this house. I'm like, do we? So we got into the house, and we looked through it, and it had been a rental for many years, and it was just trashed. Apparently tech students set up a boxing ring in the living room one year.
God.
Yeah.
The people,
And is that still there?
no,
Oh,
Darn
no.
dang.
I know, right? And they threw a couch off the balcony down into the street, and that's when they got kicked out. And that's when the house went on the market.
That sounds like a college thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we've met people. It's like, oh yeah, I used to live in that house. It's like, oh, cool. So it was really beat up. None of the plumbing worked, even halfway correctly. And we got it for almost nothing. And then we thought, oh, we'll just keep it, and we won't be able to move to Butte, now or ever. And we actually closed on the house 1 month before New York City shut down for COVID.
Sounds about right.
A month before. And then the world changed, and I was able to convince the business that I still work for, the company I still work for, to open an office in Butte. And first they were like, well, why don't you open an office in Missoula? And I'm like, well, that's a great idea, but I'm going to tell you why Butte is better than Missoula, because it has more opportunity. There's nothing but opportunity in this town. And I made a presentation, put together a business plan, convinced them to let me open an office here. And then because COVID changed how we worked, I was able to still service all my clients in Seattle because no one was having in-person meetings anyway.
Right.
And we were able to move here.
Wait, can you pitch that to me? I'm
The business
curious
plan?
specifically how you sold this.
Oh my gosh. I had like a 40 slide PowerPoint.
Okay. And here's the interesting question for you.
I had beautiful pictures of the Finland, and once I had those, it's like, oh, well,
It's sold.
good to go.
But my question, and I think this is super interesting, is I think I read somewhere that you are the first ever certified landscape architect to work in Butte, Silver Bowl County. Can you verify this?
I can verify this. I am the first licensed landscape architect to ever work in or open an office in Butte.
Now, let's juxtapose that landscape architecture with a Superfund site. How do you sell one of the most polluted places on the planet to a company that plants trees?
It was easy. I'm like, look at all this work we can do.
Okay.
Look at how we can fix this place. But it turns out that that work's already sort of locked up by some other firms. But there's plenty of work in Southwest Montana. That was the other pitch. It's like, look at where Butte is located. I can get to Helena, I can get to Missoula, I can get to Bozeman. And really, I can get to Great Falls, and I can get to Billings. And we work in Kalispell, and we're doing a project in Ronan. And people in Montana travel for work. And
We're used to it.
yeah, everyone.
I grew up here. I grew up driving an hour to like go to the grocery store.
Right.
So nobody bats an eye.
I-90 is
traveling.
one big main street across Montana.
It's
really is,
true.
yeah.
Yeah. And so so I have, my office has 3 employees, including me now. I started out with just me. And so now I'm employing 2 people here in Butte. And we have enough work. I wish we had a little bit more, but it takes a while to grow a new business from nothing.
Right.
From having no presence in any part of Montana to, letting people know that you exist.
For Butte, like a new industry.
Right.
We've never had this here, like it's
Right.
not only just a new business of something people know about, it's
Right.
not another burger joint, but
Yeah,
but it's a whole new industry here, which is so cool.
Right. And we barely have architects. There are architects here, but
Not many.
But not many. So, and there's no landscape architects. There's still no landscape architects in Helena. So that's a good market for us that at least I know about. And then there's just a handful in Missoula. And then, of course, Bozeman is crawling with them.
Now.
Yeah. I mean, you throw a stick and you're going to hit an architect or a landscape architect in Bozeman. But,
Oh, yeah. So what you might not, I don't know if we touched on this in my episode, but my degree is in interior design.
yeah, I remember.
So that's, yeah.
And you worked there.
I worked in Bozeman. I worked for an interior design firm for a while, but
Can we name names or no?
yeah, I worked for Abby Hetherington Interiors.
Oh, okay. I don't know that.
It's a smaller firm. She's a brilliant designer.
Should I reach out? Does she need a landscape architect?
She might. She works up in the Yellowstone Club all the time.
Great.
You should reach out.
All right, I'll reach out.
She does a ton of work in and around Bozeman and Montana. Look at this, making connections.
I know.
Making money
Can
moves.
you make an intro?
I don't know if you.
I'll send her this amazing book that we have that shows all of our work.
Nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Well, what is landscape architecture? For people like me who aren't in the know.
Yeah.
What exactly is it?
It's the design of land, form, and spaces outside of a building. So everything outside of a building could be designed by a landscape architect. It's often not, or not designed at all, or just happens. You think about how Butte happened. There certainly weren't landscape architects designing it, laying out the streets. But now that's changed, and so landscape architecture is everything outside. So when you go to and Butte's maybe not a great example of landscape architecture, but when you go to a park or a plaza in front of a building, or even streetscapes in some places, oftentimes they're designed by landscape architects. So you think about all the things that you would find in like your average park, like a spray pad and all the trees and an ice skating rink and all the fun stuff that we have. That's generally all laid out by a landscape architect. We do the grading, drainage plan, all the planting, spec the equipment. Sometimes there's custom designs for certain things, and that's in the public realm. On the private side, you mentioned the Yellowstone Club. People are building, these beautiful houses, and they want the outside to have as much to offer as the inside. Mm-hmm. They want their outdoor living, and got to have my sweet fire pit and a hot tub and all the things, and also it needs to look beautiful, and it has to function like ecologically, and that's where landscape architects come in, because we understand that's part of the training is you have a foundation in science, so geology, biology, botany, and soil science, and so you understand how all of that stuff works outside, and then you know what to plant and where to plant it and how to make it look amazing. So yeah, and it's a specialty, and there aren't that many of us, especially in Montana.
Yeah, that's very cool. So what's your undergrad in?
That was it.
So that's a undergraduate.
Yeah, I got my
path.
Bachelor of Landscape Architecture from University of Washington.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I could have gotten my master, but I was so done with college.
Oh yeah, no.
College isn't for everyone.
Well, I
never
liked
quit.
it, but by the end, I was like, oh man, I just want to get out of here and go to work.
Let's make some
Yeah.
things. Let's
Yeah.
Make some
wanna
things.
do
There's some
stuff.
plans.
Yeah, this is before people were like doing fun things like taking a gap year. I should have done that, but oh well.
Well, I've got another question along those same lines. Is what's the point?
Of
Just landscape architecture.
of landscape architecture?
I mean, you make spaces beautiful and work well.
Right.
Is that the point?
Well, there's also there's a health, safety, and welfare element to it. We design spaces that are safe and work well, and I'm sure you know about the handrail controversy on Park Street. That would be something that a landscape architect might design. Getting a ramp in and out of a building, and it comes in handy. Well, so we did a design for the original mine yard as part of the Butte Parks master plan. That's something that we worked on, and one of the first things we designed was a stair coming up from Alaska, taking you right into the middle of the park. Because as you know, getting into the original mine yard, it's not easy. You got to know where you're going, and it's you feel like you're coming in through the back door. So this new staircase would be the front door, but it can't just be for everyone who could walk up 300 feet of stairs. It's got to be for everybody. So we made sure that it was accessible, and it's got this ramp that goes back and forth across the slope.
Yeah.
And that in its own right can be a design element that is beautiful and could be, featured and part of the landscape. And as you're coming up this ramp and these stairs, you can be learning about native plants and seeing the trees. And on your way back down, maybe there's interpretive and you're looking out at certain, important buildings in Butte. I mean, there's so much you can do up there. So that's one element. I guess that's why we're important. We don't just make things pretty, we make things work.
Well, I think that's important because you are the first here, right? And that's a big deal. Why do you think you're only the first? This town's been around forever.
I don't think people were thinking too much about how their outdoor spaces looked or functioned.
Well, they were certainly thinking about how they functioned, but in a way that could make them money exclusively.
Right. This was an extraction economy. It wasn't. It wasn't a tourism economy, which is what I think it is attempting to shift to, and I think that will shift the way things look in this city for the better for everyone. Everything will work better for everyone if we make the improvements to the infrastructure that we should be making. And sometimes we're not making them, but I think over time we're going to make better decisions about that as a city.
What kind of role did you have in the master plan?
We wrote that thing. We did all the public outreach. We were teamed with WET on it, and we met with the community. We did an online survey. We got people's feedback on what they liked and didn't like and what they needed in their park system. We worked with park staff, understanding their needs. The Butte Parks system is unlike any other in other cities. Surprise.
Surprise.
It's not its own standalone department like it would be anywhere else. It's actually under Public Works. And so the parks budget is at the mercy of whatever the Public Works budget needs to be that year. And so parks, at least in Butte, they only have a maintenance budget. They don't have a capital improvements budget at all. So when you see, playgrounds getting replaced and revamped, it's Superfund that's doing that. It's not the Parks Department in their own budget because they don't have one. They just have enough budget to maintain the parks and make sure the trails are plowed and that sort of thing. And that's all they have. They're underfunded, understaffed, and overworked, frankly. I mean, I learned a lot about how the department functions, and they need more money. There's a lot of different ways to get more money for the Parks Department. First of all, get them out from under Public Works so they have their own budget as part of the general fund. That would help. Butte's general fund isn't exactly overflowing. So where else does the money come from? There are things that a lot of other cities do called parks districts, where you give the Parks Department a taxing authority, and people don't like to hear about taxes, but we're all still paying for the roof on the Civic Center, I think.
Nice. Well,
so when that expires, let's start paying for parks.
I'm I mean, this is a hot take, but we bought our house a few years ago and we got our first property tax bill, and the stuff that was on it, I was actually like, I will pay for iPads for the children of the schools.
Yeah.
Like, there's stuff that as a community member, I'm thrilled to contribute towards. And if I can know that that's where the money's going, like I'll pay for the parks.
Yeah.
I'll put some bucks towards that. Like, I think a lot of people feel that way when when you know where your tax dollars are going, and it's something that is amazing for everybody to enjoy in the community you live in, or it's helping education or whatever. That's where it's good.
Right. Taxes pay for things.
Yeah.
And in a small city like Butte, you can really see where it goes.
Yeah.
Right? You see exactly how much you pay for your garbage and the dump, and you see exactly how much you pay for schools. It's not that transparent in other places.
No.
And it's pretty great. And what we found in the public outreach on the parks master plans, people love their parks, even though they're a little rough around the edges.
Our parks, I mean, the Centerville Park is 9 months out of the, well, not 9 months, 4 months out of the year, it's gravel.
Yeah.
And then it's an ice rink. But it says Centerville Park, but it looks like a gravel pit in the summer.
And there's no other amenities, right? There's not a bench. There's no trees.
There's one bench.
Yeah.
I think there's one single bench and just a gravel pit or an ice rink.
There are a lot of parks in Butte like that.
Well, we talked about this in the Julia in her episode on how she was kind of this free range kid just romping around Walkerville. And one of her memories is getting on this teeter totter and like and a merry-go-round, and those two things are death traps.
Yeah.
And that was one of her like fondest memories that she shared with us. So parks are a huge quality of life thing that we need so badly.
Well, and we've got some really good ones.
We really
do.
Yeah,
we've
pretty spoiled.
got Stodden Park, and we've got
That's beautiful.
the baseball field up there. What's that?
Copper Mountain.
Copper Mountain.
But if you take away this Uptown Trail, the BA&P Trail,
I love the
if you
trail.
take that thing away, can you imagine what it's like up here? It would take away so much of our lifestyle.
Well, and that trail is so important for Uptown Butte, and so many people use it. And what people want, and this is pretty obvious, it's like let's make sure that trail connects to all of our parks.
That's a big deal.
Yep.
Which I think you're working on by letting people know that you can get right from the original mine yard down to that trail. It's just right across the street, and but you can't see it, so nobody knows it's there.
Yeah, and we can't keep things secret anymore.
No.
No,
Like we all need to enjoy these things.
Yeah.
right. And it's funny you mentioned that equipment. There are these swings in Clark Park.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I think they're supposed to look like horses. I don't know. It's like it's so much metal, and you sit on these swings and they go back and forth, and the swing stays level, and the contraption like is the thing that's pivoting, and they take them out in winter, which is probably a good idea.
Oh my God, it'd be so slick.
But they weigh like 400 pounds each.
No way.
And you put like
Are
one
they
kid on one
leftovers from
side
the
and one kid on the other
Columbia
side.
Gardens?
Imagine getting hit by that in the head.
Oh my God.
No.
And there's like 12 of them. It's so, but they came from, I believe, someone will correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that they came from
Was it the Columbia Gardens?
Columbia Gardens,
Yeah.
and so this is
Historic.
this is one of those things where we get nostalgic about stuff that's maybe not working so well.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the teeter-totters that went 12 feet in the air.
Right.
And like there's a small child 12 feet in the air.
Just rocket launched into
Yeah.
the air.
It's maybe a little dangerous.
Maybe a little.
Well, but this is Butte. I think the kids are used to danger, right?
They thrive on danger.
Thrive on danger.
That's what we do here.
Oh my God.
That's a cool project, though, working on the parks and trails or the parks master plan.
It was really fun. It's one of the first ones I did when we moved here, and I met a lot of people, and I met everyone who works on staff at the parks department. They are all working their butts off and probably not getting paid enough because we know how much.
They're doing a great job.
And they're
they
doing
do
a great job.
work.
They're keeping the trails plowed in the winter. Things are getting done with very little budget. So they're doing a lot with a little. And I that's commendable.
Oh,
Completely.
100%. I mean, people that come visit us and like discover our little uptown trail system and like Stodden Park, they're like, this is like really nice stuff.
It's so great.
It's very cool. You wouldn't expect it to be here. And I like that. I think it just needs to be expanded on because people love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's not the park system necessarily, but the access to the outdoors. That was another reason we moved here.
Yep.
We have like literally across the street, we can go up to Big Butte and walk around on those trails. And even in the summer, when you'd think they'd be just crawling with people, there's hardly anyone back there.
No.
Right.
And it's great. And you can go up Mod S. You've got Thompson Park. I mean, Butte has more open space like per capita than any other city in Montana because we have Thompson Park and we've got Big Butte and we've got all this access to this wonderful outdoor space.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic place to be.
And that's also something that I feel like is a secret. It's not really, but nobody knows how much access to the outdoors we have.
Right.
Like we can drive 15 minutes and go cross-country skiing on a wonderful maintained trail system.
Yeah,
up at Bolton.
that a volunteer, I learned this in the Parks Master Plan, a volunteer grooms that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody.
And
it's a guy who's got the rig. And
Yeah.
it's so.
I mean, we go up there and we will see 2 other people.
Yeah,
Any day of the week, even a Saturday. Like there's nobody ever out there. And there's so much right here. Like you don't have to drive far.
right. And any other city, you're gonna roll up onto one of these trails. You're gonna see 1,000 cars, and you're gonna feel like you're up there with all of your neighbors all day long.
And you have more conversations than skiing.
Yeah.
Right? Or hiking.
Or you like saying hi to people. That's
Yeah.
Bozeman now. I mean, like any hiking in Bozeman is just like you're walking in a line.
You're in a queue
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
way up and down.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's just not like that here.
Yeah.
No.
And it doesn't feel like it's getting more crowded here. I know some people are like, oh, there's so much more traffic.
There may be compared to 5 or 10 years ago.
There
Yeah.
might be.
But we have such a big carrying capacity because we have so many trail miles.
Right, exactly.
The CDT is right there, and you can
That's
go to
the-
you can
Yeah.
go to Mexico.
Right.
Right
Literally.
from, like we can see it from this window.
You can get on the trail and
Yeah.
go to Mexico.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Greenway Trail that they're finishing, that's going to go all the way
That's
to
going to be
Anaconda.
something special too. Yeah, we've got all these bits and pieces.
Have you been on the new leg that goes past the
Beautiful.
in Durant Canyon?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I haven't even heard about this.
Let's hang out
Everything's
sometime.
a secret.
Let's go to get down to the Greenway Trail. Get down there.
Yeah. It sounds great.
We should mix a drink and go down there.
Oh, is it time for round
should
2?
mix a drink and do everything.
Mark, stop talking. Can we take a commercial break, Ben? Ben, are you on this?
Absolutely.
All right.
You guys,
We'll be
before we
back.
take a commercial break, have you ever been to Pork Chop John's? It's this amazing place down on Mercury Street, just off of Main, just off of Main. And it's a lunch counter, and there's a walk-up window. And what I love about Pork Chop John's is just how good those pork chops are. They're just hammered out just right, breaded just right, fried just right, slapped on a bun with all the right hamburger ingredients. And you just get to eat your pork chop.
I love the whiff of Pork Chop John's 3 blocks away.
Right.
Oh,
You're
give it
you're
to
rolling through Uptown. You're like, oh, that's
Yeah.
PCJ's.
Yeah,
PCJs.
PCJs. The wind hits just right. You're standing on Park Street and you're like, I can smell it.
I don't I mean, still the best hangover cure on the planet.
Oh, I think.
PCJs.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, PCJs. I mean, that's how you get out of a hangover.
What's the fun commercial they got? Like grip it, rip it, and dunk it, or something
What?
like that.
What?
No, it is.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's like the pork
I hope
nuggets
it's
they've
that.
got. They're like grip it, rip it, dunk it, eat it.
Really?
Somebody's saying that?
Well, they are now.
Sounds like a Daft Punk song. Rip it, grip it, dunk it, eat it. Rip it, grip it, dunk it, eat it.
That's right.
Yeah.
We just need a drummer.
Oh.
Oh,
Wow.
we'll get to that.
All right, let's drink number 2. What do you got for us, Mark?
We are gonna go make a Manhattan the proper way.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get this on video too, so we'll be back after this message.
After this message from Pork Chop John's
Oh
in Uptown Butte.
Rip it, dunk it, eat it.
Rip it, grip it, dunk it, eat it.
We'll be right back with more of All the Places podcast with our special guest this week, Mark Garff. Check us out, listen to our other episodes, like and subscribe of All the Places podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Rip it, dunk it, eat it. Have you guys been to the Covalite?
Dear God, I have been.
Have I?
It is, I feel like the Covalite is Butte Rising. It is the best new fun venue to see stuff, to see bands, to see shows, to see open mic, to do they do drunken drawing class.
Yeah.
They do.
I feel like the Cova Light is something that Butte's needed for a long time, and it's just making this already amazing place even better.
Thank you, Mark Garff.
You're spot on. Thank you for that.
My goodness.
You know, there's a lot of great upcoming events. I've got the calendar pulled up. You can see it for yourself at covalightpresents.org. And this episode comes out, and then Dragged Out is Butte's local metal band.
And isn't this a album launch?
It's an album release show, March
Right.
1.
That's a big deal. Cool.
March 1, album release, Dragged Out. They're Butte boys.
Heck yeah.
They're from here. It's really, if you're into metal at all, you're going to love it.
Big deal.
And then, who's on March 2nd?
I don't know. Please tell us.
Is it someone we know?
It's me. Desperate Electric with our friends from Helena Hard Hugs, who we just played with last weekend and in Helena, and they're amazing. And then we're bringing some friends from Seattle.
Cool.
Really?
We're bringing a Seattle band to the Cove Light.
Who would that be?
They're called Bitadat.
Bitadat.
Like, get a little Bitadat.
Oh, Bitadat. I love.
Super funky, super fun.
I mean,
And
you guys are great. You put on a great
I'm
show.
down.
It's super fun.
thank you.
I'm going
Thank
to
you.
keep complimenting you until the cows come home.
Oh, God.
We'll be there.
Don't stop. I mean, I like it. So, but then there's more cool stuff. There's Jamie Wyman Band, and I know she's on tour. She's hitting a lot of great Montana towns. She's playing on March 7th, and that'll be a great show. And with Sean Eamon,
Oh, Sean's a great musician.
Butte guy.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be really good. And then don't miss on March 8th, Girls Night Out,
What?
Ooh.
the show. Girls Night Out, the show, world
Wait.
famous.
Now,
Are John and I invited?
can you tell me a little bit more about this, Katie? I feel like you're the expert on Girls Night Out.
Am I? I don't. I mean, I could be. Learn more. I'm clicking learn more. And Girls Night Out is treat yourself to a mantastic night of fun and fantasy.
Like a Thunder from Down Under situation?
I think exactly that, but
Now
like
we're
the
talking.
on-tour Butte version.
Yes.
All right.
I mean, the Cove Light is where it's at as far as events, fun. I mean, that's what we need.
Right. It's what we've needed for forever. And how about the upgrades happening at the Cova Light?
Yes.
Yeah, I
big
heard a
stuff.
dirty little rumor today, actually, that there's a fancy new sound system getting installed in there. And they're working really, really hard.
Yeah.
They want to bring cool concerts to Butte, cool shows, and we got to give them props. And you should go see a show there.
And they are bringing that stuff.
No,
so
they are. And they're just going to do it more and more. But we have to support it.
You're right.
If the community doesn't support it, they're not going to be able to do it. So we got to get out there. We got to support.
Get to
Right.
the Cove Light. CovaLightPresents.org.
It's going to sound better. It's going to look better. The lights are going to be amazing. I can't wait. I can't wait for the next show at the Cova Light.
Let's boogie. Katie, when we work uptown, there's not a whole lot of places better than Metal's Sports Bar and Grill. Like lunch specials. Are you kidding me?
There's no, I mean, this is a hot take. There's nowhere better. I love Metals. Metals is a place you always go when you need to go eat in Butte.
You haven't stopped talking about the pot stickers tonight.
I haven't. I brought them up 3 separate times. The pot stickers are amazing.
And it's the anchor. It's an anchor in uptown. It
It
truly
is.
is. It brings people in. It's got killer sports bar vibes. But what I dig the most are the specials. Things like Korean food, Vietnamese food, and you guessed it, pot stickers.
It's everything I've had there is so good. Every time we have friends and family come visit, we take them to Metals.
And it's got a Butte vibe, which is cool. So,
It's super cool.
Metal Sports Bar and Grill. We'll see you uptown.
So, will you tell us what you just made us for drink number 2?
I will. Are we on?
Yeah, we're on.
Mixologist extraordinaire. Give it to us.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do it. So this is a Manhattan, and you can have a lot of bad Manhattans at a lot of different bars. The way to make a Manhattan is you pick, well, first of all, you pick a good bourbon and you mix it with sweet vermouth, a good one. And we tried to find the best one, but we were not able to find it.
We have a medium
Sometimes
one.
second place is first.
Yeah, sometimes you can't find the ingredients that you need, but this is good.
It is good.
And a Manhattan is basically everything that you put in it has alcohol in it, right? So you mix your bourbon to sweet vermouth 2-to-1, and then you put in a little Angostura bitters, which is also like 20% alcohol. And then, I didn't do the orange peel. Usually you do an orange peel, which I forgot, and then cherries. And the cherries are pretty important. You can get some terrible cherries, right? The bright red ones that
Maraschino cherries.
right. That and someone told me how
Shirley
they made
Temple.
those, and it was like, oh my god, they basically like ferment them under wax, and there's like with all the bugs that come off the trees, and I'm like, oh god, no. So we have the cherries in here are La Parisienne from France, brandied cherries.
That sounds sexy. Can you say that again slower?
La Parisienne.
Yeah.
Oh.
Brandied cherries from France. And I actually get these from this place in Florida called Marky's Gourmet. Because you can't get them in Montana.
Marquise Gourmet.
Marky.
Marky's. And they sell all kinds of crazy stuff.
That's going to be our next commercial break.
From Marquise Gourmet.
Yeah, in like probably Clearwater, Florida, somewhere terrible. Somewhere hot, humid. Anyway, so and that's a Manhattan, the way it should be made, and they're hard to get good. Yeah. But there is one place that I know that makes them really well. It's called the Cavalier Lounge.
The Cavalier Lounge in Uptown. The Cavalier.
Yes.
Cavalier. Well, I've actually never had a Manhattan until today, just right now, in this moment. And I'm not a whiskey girl. And most people that know me know that I just make the worst face ever when I even smell it. But
Scrinch face.
I actually really like this.
It's tasty.
This
Mark.
is super tasty.
So basically everything you said in the recipe that you just explained to us, to me, I heard we're all going downhill from here on out.
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
The second half of this podcast is going to just...
It's all alcohol.
Then
Gonna
you've
be
got
great.
some work to do.
Well, it's like a Negroni. That's 3 alcohols that you mix together: gin,
I do love a Negroni.
Campari, and sweet vermouth. And oh my god, it's it takes you there.
So one of the reasons why I especially wanted you to come on this particular podcast, one of our grand finales, is that you...
One of the 2 grand finales.
Yeah.
There's 2.
There's 2 grand finales.
Yeah, we got this. Because it's our podcast, we can do what we want.
Yeah.
Right.
Is because you are the founder of one of my most recent top 10 hangovers.
That was a good night.
And I'll say most recent top 10 hangovers because it's a fluid list.
Yeah.
Sliding scale.
It's a sliding scale.
It's
You're right.
constantly changing.
And you talked about the cabin, and that's we were down at Mark's cabin, and I think the magic just happened. The magic happened all night long.
What were you making that night?
Well, first you should know that there's a player piano.
Dead.
Done.
Done.
The,
That one went down.
But the player piano is super cool. I've never done anything, and it's so much effort.
Yeah.
Like you have to kick your feet so fast.
It's
and
vacuum operated. You're pumping air into
Yep.
this thing, and it's pulling the keys down with vacuum, and you have to work hard. So we're getting a workout, and I'm making all kinds of stuff, and I have to import all this into the cabin because there's nothing there available for you to make.
Right.
Right.
So I think we probably started with a margarita. A margarita.
Margarita.
Yeah. Which
and we were down at the beach for a little bit.
we were down at the beach. I think we were drinking beer at the beach.
Twisted teas.
Oh, no. Oh,
No.
No? Okay.
that's
no.
too Butte. It's too Butte of you.
No.
You can't take that out of you.
I
No.
don't even think they have that down there.
I don't think they have it anywhere else.
The nexus.
We're
of
the first.
Twisted
We're the
Tea
number one
universe.
market.
I actually heard that from somebody that we are the number 1 per capita market for twisted tea.
I believe it.
That doesn't
Hand to
surprise me
God.
at all.
I mean, from what I see littering the streets of Butte, it's clear to me that twisted tea is number 1.
That is just wild to me. I mean, we went bowling for our staff party, and I call them the kids because I'm like 5 years older at least than all of them. And that's like they're ordering that seriously. Like they're getting that to drink unironically.
Right.
That's
Like-
their drink of choice.
That's what they're having for the night
Yes.
and nothing else.
And I love me a good sugary drink, but you can't have more than 2 of those things, and it's
No.
it's it's like drinking sugar fueled natural light. It's like
Yes.
yeah, it's undoable. So back to the good drinks.
Yeah. The good drinks. The margarita.
Mark or Rita.
So we make a margarita, and again, like so,
How is that different from a margarita?
Well, so margaritas that you often get, like they use sweet and sour mix, which is just this sugar, corn syrup bomb with, it's mostly sweet. It's not enough sour. A real margarita is made with fresh lime. And I put little fresh lemon in mine. Ooh. And then the sweetener is agave syrup, which makes sense. And then you've got your tequila. And then you've got your orange liqueur, which and I don't use triple sec, as we've previously discussed. The best margarita uses, in my opinion, Grand Marnier. It's just such a great. It's a cognac spirit, orange-based cognac spirit. It's so good. It's the best. And then for the margarita, I throw a little Aperol in there.
I love Aperol.
Yeah.
I have that here. That's one ingredient I always keep on hand.
Yeah, it's a little bit of it's a kind of a sweet bitter, which sounds funny, but that's
No,
sort of what
it is exactly that. It's so good.
Yeah, it's so good. And then of course you've got to salt the rim like crazy, and that's a margarita. And I think we started. Did we start with those, or did we start with Jungle Birds?
You're asking.
What
the
is
wrong
a
guy.
jungle bird?
Oh,
Just asking the wrong man.
It's a-
Well, yeah, you
Lights
probably
out.
don't remember.
It's player piano.
I mean,
waking up.
Top 10 hangover. So,
Yeah.
you know.
yeah.
So I wasn't involved.
I was just bringing you the drinks.
Your spirit was there.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, we were bringing the drinks in. We were pumping the hell out of the player piano.
Michael Jackson songs are so long when you're on the player piano.
Oh yeah, even they're shortened for the rolls, but they're
goodness.
super long.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that one is Beat It and Billie Jean
Oh,
together. So you're playing
double.
both of them.
yeah.
Yeah, and on the
Yeah.
player piano, it's like it's clink 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 clink.
That is a workout.
It's pretty
totally
good.
is. And it's like a ragtime version of Michael Jackson songs.
Right.
Kind of like that.
I mean, all the piano songs
I love
are.
that.
Yeah. So Jungle Bird is a tiki drink. And all tiki drinks have 2 critical ingredients. So sweet and sour. So in this tiki drink, you've got 2 kinds of rum, a black strap rum, and then another lighter, like more clear rum. So 2 kinds of rum, and then Campari. I know, so good. And then lime juice, and what is? And the sweetener is, I use a little agave syrup for that again, and it's just like a really punchy, good drink. Oh, the fruit is the pineapple.
Oh, yes. Anything pineapple,
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm
that's the
automatically
critical
in.
part. And sometimes you don't even, depending on the pineapple that you get, how much sugar's in it, you might not need the sweetener at all.
Yeah, because really ripe pineapples are super sweet.
Yeah. Yep. So rum, Campari, pineapple, lime.
Oh, God,
Get your
that
sweet,
sounds
got your sour. That's tiki.
That's tiki. That
We need
sounds
a
good. A
tiki.
jungle bird.
We need a tiki bar.
We need a Marco Rita tiki bar.
Yeah.
That'd be so good.
All right.
Where are we going to put this
New
tiki
business
bar?
plan.
Walkerville?
The Walkerville Tiki Bar.
That'd be pretty good.
We could do the old Walkerville liquor store. Could be the Walkerville Tiki Bar.
That'd be pretty good.
It's a good corner location.
I would like that.
I would love. I can walk there, so I'm in.
Wait, is it where the old liquor store was?
Yeah, put it in there.
Yeah.
Nobody's in there.
They have that metal door on that building is unbelievable.
No, it's actually a very cool building.
Yeah.
It needs to be something cool.
Right.
Walkerville's we're on the up and up, but it is
think
a
so.
slow burn.
Well,
Up here.
we're all slow burning.
I think
feel like
That's
that's
true.
I think this county is slow burning.
Yeah. People, we're on
me
the-
as well. Right.
I mean, yeah. Also me. I'm slow
more
burning.
my
So
speed.
We'll get there.
We will. That's the best part.
yeah.
Right. Well, and we're all in it together. We're having fun.
Right now
We're
having fun.
We're staying positive. We're wildly nostalgic
wildly.
We are.
while staying positive.
Can we have a different slogan?
Well,
What would that be?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Wildly nostalgic.
I stole that from Butte Hole Surfers.
I know.
It's wildly historic.
Can
It
we
is
give,
wildly historic, but
Can
it's
we
the
give the
same
Beautiful
thing.
Surfers a shout out?
That's our next commercial.
Yeah, it is.
Has anyone been on Instagram lately? Maybe you've been seeing this in your feed, but there's some people, maybe one or two people, I'm guessing in Butte, that are putting together a great show about Butte that is spot on. Mm-hmm. It might not make everyone happy, but it's making us happy.
It is. Oh, it's thrilling me. It's the best of the internet these
If we
days.
can't laugh at ourselves, who can we laugh
Well,
at?
that's.
Really?
I mean,
That's the problem. We haven't laughed at ourselves enough.
no. Well, that's the
right?
thing. I mean, like, but every city has a good.
What
like-
the Helena?
Yeah. What the Helena? I actually
Bozeman
know who
hipsters.
runs that.
Hipsters of
Bozeman.
Bozeman,
Hipsters
yeah.
of Bozeman. That I knew who started that, and we know who runs What the Helena. But I do not know who is behind Butte Hole Surfers,
Yeah.
which is honestly just an amazing name.
And
also.
my take is that I don't want to know.
Yeah,
I want the magic to stay magical.
I want it to stay magic. I'm honestly wondering if it's like it's someone who knows a lot about Butte, obviously, who understands the history
and current
who-
culture.
and the current culture, and also
Engaged
like
enough to, like,
engaged enough in politics to like
Yeah.
see what's happening
And be critical of it all.
and be critical and
In such a beautifully creative way.
in
Love
such
it.
Oh,
in such a great way.
It's the memes are top notch.
Spot on.
Yeah, I mean,
Every day, I'm blown away.
we knew Twisted Tea was a problem before Butte Hole Surfers, but it was Butte Hole Surfers who brought it
Just bringing it
brought
into
it
the
to the
light.
Well,
forefront.
did you see like the montage of images that they posted like a week ago? Like just
so good.
Twisted Tea cans everywhere. I heard
Yeah.
you may have been a submitter of one of those images.
I might have sent them some photos of Twisted Tea cans.
Yeah.
May or may not.
There was one beautiful one. It was just, it's like it was emerging from the snow.
I saw that.
It was,
It was being birthed
right,
out of the snow.
right. The snow was like
From the
pushing
slag piles
this
of Butte,
can
Montana.
out with the label perfectly up and just slightly crushed. It was
No,
like,
it's a work of art.
It was straight from heaven.
This is art. Somebody needs to do the next show in the IBRC needs to be like Twisted Tea photos. Oh, that's like that needs to be somebody's artistic journey. So good. We have a lot of amazing artists here, like visual artists.
Right. Like this town is actually crawling with talent.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Super cool.
It is really cool. And I mean the fact that a town like this has an art walk that's pretty great. Mm-hmm.
I love
it.
Art Walk. I love it.
Yeah, I know it's fun. It's like
It's so fun.
yeah, and people are just like they're putting it out there
Yeah.
and loving it, and it's just fun to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and what you do is art too. Landscape architecture. That's art.
it's a little bit of that. Yeah, there's a little bit of artistry. Well, I mean, one of my professors claimed that it was the highest art, and he went through this whole thing about the lower arts. And
The lower arts.
I believe, and this is going to be offensive to so many, but I'm not saying it. My former professor, Richard Haig, founder of University of Washington's Landscape Architecture Department, he said this.
Okay.
And he had a whole hour-long lecture on why landscape architecture was the highest art form. And he went through, music and painting and throw out some other arts.
Well, there's
Writing. And
pottery.
Yeah, writing. Yeah, but just
Writing.
sculpture was one for
Sculpture.
sure. Yeah, and he's going through these, and then he gets to architecture, and everyone in there's like, we all lean forward in our seats. We're like, where's he gonna go with this? and he proceeds to explain how architecture is an art form, but then he moves on. And he's probably doing, because he was an old guy, he's probably doing this with a Sharpie on a dry erase board,
Oh yeah, wrong.
as one does.
Yeah.
And he gets to the top and he writes landscape architecture, and he explains why it's the highest art form because it's using all of these other things, sculpture, painting,
I see his reason.
science. You're using architecture buildings as part of your canvas. And I'm like, damn, Haig.
I mean, that's a good argument. And as a musician and an artist.
That was in there too. Music. Oh my
right,
God.
Right. But as somebody who does a different art form, the art forms where like form meets functionality, that's truly special.
Yeah.
And I love I think music, every art form has its place and they're all equally as important. But the ones that are providing functionality to groups of people and
Right.
ideally everybody, but it's also art, is the coolest thing.
Right.
That's why I love design and architecture. And
Right. And you know, Haig was maybe a little bit wrong. He was speaking to a lecture hall full of landscape architects.
Right.
And so he gets to,
he's trying to gas himself up.
right, he's gassing himself up. All art is very important and we need all of it.
Right.
And I don't really think there's one that's above the others, right?
I think-
But it was just funny how this old guy, you know,
But I
made
love-
the argument with a Sharpie.
I
on a
love
dry
somebody
erase
that
board.
has that much conviction in what they're doing.
And he
I'm
did.
into that. Like, if you are that passionate that you're just going to denounce all other art and be like, mine's the best. This is the best art you can ever make. Okay.
Yeah.
If you can argue that, I'll probably get behind it. Like, if you're that passionate about it, that's really special.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
he
he-
should be in that field.
Right. He went
clearly
hard.
loves it. Yeah. I think everybody should go that hard at their jobs where you're like,
Yeah.
everything else worse. this is the best thing. And I'm gonna tell everybody about it. And that's how you make great art when you're that passionate about it.
Right. Yeah, you have to love it and get behind it, and
You have to be a
it
bit
has
polarizing.
to be, yeah, it has to be meaningful to you so much so that you're able to.
You're like
know,
making everybody else mad.
well, I mean, sometimes you need to do that. I mean, the greatest artists did do that, right?
Right.
They pissed everybody off.
Yeah. You
The
have
greatest
to be,
composers, the greatest artists, the greatest, you know, they were like, I'm the best. Get the fuck out of my
Yeah.
way.
Well, there's no love without hate.
Right.
You know, it's like that the north and south of the universe.
Right.
You got to have the polars. The
Right.
poles. The polars. I'm into this drink now.
Yeah,
We got to have the polars.
we're feeling the drinks. I can't wait to get to these cherries.
I know. I'm excited about
I
the
f-
cherries.
I feel like we didn't finish John's story.
Did I have one?
Well, we were talking
Or was it
about
the hangover?
we're talking,
Oh, no,
talking about
hangover.
top 10 hangover.
That's it. There's,
So
there's
I
20
think-
of them. That's the problem.
I think we went like 5 heavy drinks in that night, and the next morning. And by the way, it should be noted that John had to sleep on a bunk bed.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's rough.
A
Which
sink-
is fine. I mean, I've had my days.
Yeah,
of,
but like to wake up and
sleeping
have like a bed above you and be like, oh, I can't like sit up.
Yeah.
in like old timey cabin.
yeah,
Just not throw up welcoming.
well, right,
Right.
and the bathroom, like that bathroom's a ways down the hall.
It was down the hall, and I remember it was real loud.
Everything squeaks.
Or was it I was real loud?
No,
The
everything
bathroom didn't help.
everything squeaks.
It happens.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
it's not soundproof.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
There's no insulation. I mean,
Right.
it's just like
There's just
you can hear everything everywhere all the
And
time.
just for the record, I don't regret any of that. It was a fantastic night.
It was
Great
good.
trip.
yeah.
Beautiful cabin. Lake was wonderful.
the lake was great.
Friends were good.
the lake
Player
is good.
piano. Michael Jackson was involved. Life was good.
Okay, so where are you from?
Oh yeah, we should actually
Oh.
get to the podcast part of this podcast.
Oh, so are we starting?
So-
are we
Well,
starting the podcast now?
we should start.
All right.
We got like why you're in Butte. I feel like we got into that, and we got you like the cabin and your family. But like, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Salt Lake City.
Oh,
SLC.
Actually, I grew up in Salt Lake City. That's where I grew up.
amazing.
And if you know what that's from,
Love that play. Love that. I'm a
Yeah.
Broadway nerd. Love that play.
It's one of the best ever.
Book of Mormon.
We're talking about Book of Mormon.
Ben's seen it.
Oh my god, so funny.
Yeah,
Amazing.
Yeah.
yeah, so funny, so raunchy.
Took me a minute to wrap my head around what I was watching, but then once I was like, oh, this is one of those. Oh man,
I've
yeah.
never seen it.
yeah, do it.
Oh, you've got to see it.
I know because I love Broadway. So
Yeah.
So wait, Salt Lake City.
yes.
You grew up Mormon. I do know that. We've talked about that.
I did.
Can
I
you
did.
give me that? Is that the only religion on the planet that we know when it was invented?
No.
Well, no.
I think we know when Scientology was invented.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
I just feel like
And we know about Buddha.
yeah, I guess that's
Right.
All right,
Well,
scratch
you know,
that. Edit that.
I mean, you can think
Cut
about
that.
when Christianity might have been invented, depending on how you depending on what you believe about the clock on the earth.
But like, it's one of the most modern
Yeah.
religions.
Yeah.
And I think that's fascinating.
It is.
Can you give me? I don't know anything about it. Can
we,
you give me like the
we-
Cliff's Notes version?
Well, you saw Book of Mormon.
Yeah. I mean, how true is it all?
I mean, so the way Book of Mormon described the origin of Mormonism was pretty spot on, and they did it in a hilarious way, as they do. And it was a guy who didn't like all the other religions, and so he basically made up his own. And I should say that I've left the church. I had to escape the church. I had to.
Now wait a minute. You had the way you said that makes me.
Well, they don't just let you leave, John.
No, you can't just leave.
Okay,
I've
that
watched
sounds
enough
like a
Real
story.
Housewives of Salt Lake City to know.
No, you
They do not just let you
You
leave.
can't just walk away from the church.
No,
Okay.
it's a
So,
big thing.
Let's fast forward. I don't need to know about the religion. Let's talk about escaping the religion because that might explain some things.
Yeah. Well, so
What's that process?
let's go back to when I was younger.
Okay.
So church was 3 hours long on Sunday, and then you also went on Wednesday, and sometimes on Thursdays, and sometimes on Fridays.
Sounds like the NFL schedule.
Yeah, it was great.
Doesn't it? It's like, let's add in a Thursday game. Cool. Let's do that.
Right. So when you're young, you before the main meeting where everyone gets in the same.
At Temple.
Yeah. Well, in the church, in the chapel.
Okay.
Before everyone gets in the chapel, you do something called primary. And so primary is when like everyone from age like 6 to 12 is in a room together and you all sing songs. Okay. And there's a primary leader, which is whoever got called to that position, whether they are good at it or not, are up there like trying to teach a lesson, and then you sing some songs, and then they try and teach you a lesson about church, and then you sing some more songs. And John and I, we've talked about these songs. We're not going to go into popcorn popping on the apricot tree tonight, but we might on a future podcast.
We could revisit this. But
Of all the places.
Mark's
So
coming back.
I had more. So I know about this because there's a lot of Mormons in Laurel, Montana, which is where I grew up, and I had Mormon friends, and so occasionally I would like go to their Wednesdays.
Mutual.
Oh.
It was
Yeah.
a mutual.
And we
As a
learned the
guest?
song. Yeah, I guess. I don't really know.
Yeah. So
See, I
guess I
grew
was
up
a guest.
Presbyterian, which is like the least church,
that would have been great.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I grew up in
and I
nothing.
grew up like right outside of Green Bay, so when there was a noon Packer game, like the
Yeah.
sermon was
Real short.
5 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
let's get you out the door. We got tailgating.
There was never any concern for how long church was taking.
Okay.
No, I mean the Wednesdays was like it was 3 hours, like 6 to 9 on Wednesday night. Something crazy.
Right. It was your whole Wednesday.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't do homework.
No, we played like dodgeball, but then we had to sing songs.
Right. Right.
I went with my friends like 2 times, and that is imprinted in my brain.
So I'm in primary, and the primary teacher is explaining some Mormon doctrine, which is crazy. And so they're going through how you need to act on this planet to get into the next world, right? And so they're explaining like you need to be, you need to do everything right. You need to repent for all your sins, blah, blah, blah. And they're explaining these 3 kingdoms of heaven. And she's got it, and it's like poster board with markers. And there's 3 kingdoms. There's the telestial, the terrestrial, and the celestial. And she's just like, you want to get to celestial. Because if you're in these other kingdoms, you're down there with the thieves and the crooks and the bad people and the murderers. And so you really want to be righteous in this world so you can get to this place in the next world that is better. And so and hopefully you're so good that you're exalted, and then that's where you get your own planet. What?
I like that rule. I like that rule a lot.
Just gonna get your own planet. So I'm sitting there, and I was maybe like 10. So I had already been baptized. I was like, they'd already
Yeah.
like dunked me in the water.
Yeah,
and-
they were like, he's good.
yeah, they're like, oh, he's in, and they're like, we're wiping your sins away, right? Everything that you've done from
Yeah,
0 to
7
8,
years old, right?
right?
You sinner.
Right, you'd be a big sinner. You've been lighting shit on fire is basically what I did. Those were my sins.
Don't worry, we cleansed them.
That's right.
Yeah,
Washed
so
free.
Those
washed
ones don't
free,
count.
and then after that, you're supposed to like not do anything wrong for the rest of your life. So anyway, so I was about 10, and I'm looking at the 3 posters and the primary leaders like trying to like explain this to us. I'm like, this doesn't seem real.
Something doesn't add up in your 10-year-old brain.
Right. I'm like, I don't think this is right. And and you've also been taught that like, God and Jesus, it's they're loving and they'll take care of you and blah blah blah. But then you've got to get through this gauntlet of like you've got to be so good that you don't want to end up in the celestial kingdom. Or even the terrestrial. You want to get to celestial so you can get your own planet. And I'm like, are we all striving? And I think that translates directly into the materiality of Mormonism,
Yeah.
right? You've
yeah,
watched Real
that's a thing.
Housewives,
Oh yeah, I'm up to date on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
right?
That is my franchise.
It's messed up, and they're all striving for this place on this planet, but also the place in the next world, which
Their own planet.
right, their own planet. Which I decided at that time, I'm like, I don't believe in any of this. I think this is all made up, and I'm not doing it.
You're just not into it at that point.
No, I wasn't. And
I also
and-
think like we live in the age of information,
Right.
right? Like, so it's not that far away to be like, yeah, nothing sounds right.
yeah. So I was kind of out,
So
and
I can
then,
see that.
but then I'm still a little kid, and I am still small enough to be physically dragged to church, and I am made to go to church until at the point where I'm probably about 16, and then it's like, all right, I don't have to do this anymore, and that's when I stopped going. But then you're still like a part of the church, right? So everyone's still trying to get you, like they're trying to reactivate you, get you back into the church, right? You've got to start coming to these meetings.
Do they use the word reactivate?
Oh, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, reactivate, because they considered the Mormons who are not going to church inactive.
What's
They're
a-
still Mormons, but they're inactive.
What's a Jack Mormon? I've heard
Oh,
that term.
Jack. So okay,
That's
so
a bad Mormon.
That's a bad one.
I
Well,
dated a bad Mormon.
a Jack Mormon is a Mormon who is still officially like on the rolls of the church, but has, left it and is drinking and like doing and is living like a normal human life. Mm-hmm. It's people who are living a regular life and they're still
But
not going to church,
Not in line with the Mormon
not in line
code.
with all the rules of Mormonism, which there are a lot.
Oh yeah, I dated one of those in college.
Oh my God, tell
Pre-Ben.
me.
Yeah, let's dig into this a little bit.
There
I
was
dated a bad Mormon.
wow. So you weren't dry humping?
No. No, we did not soak. We
Yeah,
didn't.
that's a thing.
That's a thing, and that's how I learned about it because he was like, "People do this, I don't." And this was pre-Ben, obviously, and I was very young, and he was, a hunky football player. I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
this is."
Did
but
he have blonde hair?
no,
Oh.
he was brunette.
Oh wow.
I know. Really not following the path. Just hair and all.
So many
His hair
ways.
turned
Right.
brown when he started drinking.
Right.
It probably has to do with the
It is-
planet he's headed towards.
Right.
So he was a really nice guy, but yeah, no, I met him at a party. He was drinking. I met him through some mutual. Because I was not a Mormon, but he's still like his family. Like he was still a Mormon. Like he had not left the
Right.
church, but he was a bad Mormon.
Yeah. Yeah. He was a Jack Mormon.
Yeah, exactly. So
And he
that
was
was one
probably,
of my.
and he was probably feeling all the pressure from all of his family. And
He was the oldest
oh, wow.
in his family, and then he had all sisters. I think, mostly sisters. There was like so many of them,
Yeah.
so many siblings, but
Oh, and that's probably why you have to share the cabin with
so many
So many
siblings.
7
people.
different.
Like our family.
How many siblings do you have?
I only have 2 siblings. I have 2
Oh.
older sisters. But we're one of the smallest families in the
Right.
in
You
the
got
group.
a cousin bunch.
Yeah, I've got a lot of cousins and so many more younger offspring of
So
those.
are you the only one of this clan that has defected?
No,
Did I say that right? I feel like that's offensive. I'm sorry. I don't know.
no, it's not. It's just like it's like realizing what's real and what's not. That's what it is.
But is everyone else still in the church and active?
Most
or
people are,
activated?
but not exclusively. I'm not the only one. There, I have some
Okay.
cousins. I have some cousins who have left, and I think as time goes on, and the church keeps doing stupid shit, like the whole LGBT issue that came up with the Mormons, and the way they handled it was like so bad, and the way they've handled race in the past is awful. And I think if anyone is a thinking person, they will realize that maybe this isn't the best place. So finally, so I finally had to get an attorney and write a letter and send it in and be like, I'm leaving the church, but remove
Get
my.
an attorney.
It's serious.
It's a whole
like
process.
a divorce.
Yes. It's
proceeding.
literally like that.
Oh, okay.
I only know this from the Real Housewives.
Yeah. No,
But
and you have to
that's-
convince the bishop of your local ward that you're, and he has to allow you to leave the church.
Well, theoretically, they probably don't want to just like let people go off and do their thing.
no,
wanna
they
keep
don't. They need that money.
right.
They need your tithing. They need
Yeah.
10 they need
need members of the
10% of your
church.
income.
Sure.
Yeah, as a Mormon, you are taxed 10%, and that money goes to the church. And the Mormon Church is the largest real estate holding company in the world.
Wow.
It's crazy
Yeah.
how much money they have and how quiet they keep it and how many shell corporations they have. I've learned this later as time has gone on, right? And it's interesting, and I'm, and I love my family, and a lot of them are still active, but I get the sense that at least my generation is like, not. I mean, I'll probably stick with this culturally because I live in Salt Lake and that's what everyone else does.
Right.
But maybe I'm not so into it anymore. So, I mean, that's progress.
True.
Yeah.
Can we break for another commercial and get our final drink? We've got a
We have
couple
a
of
final
things.
drink.
We've got a couple other topics that I want to touch on before we wrap this.
This is going to be our longest episode ever, but I think it's perfect for a finale.
Yeah. Wait, are we going to commercial right now?
Yeah. What's your commercial, Mark?
Have you guys been to Park Street Liquors?
I have.
Just this afternoon.
And by the way, thank you for going there.
Not a problem.
I love those guys.
I
roll-
also love those guys.
Can we talk about Sam's nipples for a little bit?
We can.
He just posted some Cupid photos because of Valentine's
Oh my
Day.
God.
Fully
Oh my
shirtless.
God.
Fully shirtless with like heart nipples. Love this guy.
Sam,
Yeah.
I need to find this.
He's a local hero in my book.
Can somebody find these photos for us?
Oh my
we
gosh.
will.
Fact checker Ben.
Yeah, can we need to get these photos up right away and get them on the podcast.
They need to be live.
That's true.
Oh my God. Okay, I love everyone. So
I love everyone.
you're rolling to Park Street Liquors, and I feel like it's kind of it's like you're going to Cheers.
Totally.
You roll in, they're like, hey, and
Where everybody knows your name.
right.
Uh-huh.
And you roll in, and they get you what you need, and they take good care of you, and it's just there's a camaraderie that I feel there that I don't get at every business, but for some reason, the liquor store. Well, and also like this goes back to like maybe growing up Mormon. Like the liquor store was like you don't go into the liquor store ever. It's where sinners go.
Yeah. That's true.
So when I roll into the liquor store in Butte and I'm welcomed with open arms by all those guys, it's the
Twice
greatest
as
thing ever.
meaningful.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one. To sum up, Park Street Liquors. It's in Uptown Butte, right off of Park Street.
It's on Park Street.
Wait, let's start this commercial over. Park Street Liquors.
Damn it. Ben, help. Ben, help us. We're drowning. Hey crew, John here. And before we take this short break, I have a quick favor to ask. Please tell your friends and family about Of All the Places and drop a rating in our podcast app. Spreading the word about this and any other podcast that you like is the single best way to support that show. More importantly, we need to convince Katie to come back for season 2. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be right back after this with our guest, Mark Garff. Shop where the champions shop. Right, Katie?
Dig City Supply. I'm wearing it right now.
Uptown Butte on Park Street, Dig City. Mark, you've been there, right?
I've been there. That place is great. You roll in and you see, the first thing you notice about the place is the wildly historic tile floor.
No, he's right though. He's right. It's super cool. It
is cool.
It's Butte in the best way. You walk in, it's just the quintessential like retro, collegiate, very cool store.
Well, and you can get shirts and hats and anything you want from basically all the one high school, all the elementary schools,
but all the Butte schools,
all the one universities.
Real ready to pull the trigger on this one.
No.
We're warming up.
But Dig City, did you know, Mark, the Dig City Supply is the official online retailer of Montana Tech Athletics?
I actually did know that, and that's amazing. And
But we have the coolest Montana Tech like sporting event merchandise. Like we got basketball, we got volleyball, we got golf, we got hockey,
yeah,
we got football.
all the things.
And not just Montana Tech, it's all sports and schools.
It's true.
Butte centric.
We have
style.
a new team stores section.
Right. So
And we're
we'll talk
highlighting like the hurling team. We've got a section for the Butte Irish hockey team.
Yeah.
It's just a cool spot to go support schools and sports from Butte and look real good while you're doing it. Hey, you know what else we got at Dig City Supply? Is we have Butte's only Icon collection. And the Icon collection highlights local Butte businesses. It gives a portion of the proceeds back to those businesses. We're all about supporting community. And every summer we do an Icon t-shirt tournament.
Right.
Tournament of Champions.
Tournament of Champions. This year, I think the stakes are going to be a little higher, and there's going to actually be something to win other than the GOAT trophy.
That's right. The GOAT trophy is
so
impressive.
who won last year?
The
The
M&M.
Oh, the M&M one.
So
Wow.
the Icon collection consists of these long-standing, iconic businesses and organizations.
Bonanza Freeze.
Bonanza Freeze was our first ever victor.
Yeah.
So
They won
Hotel Finland.
year one. Hotel Finland, the Butte Archives, Beef
Yeah.
Trail Ski Area,
Oh yeah,
the Western Meat Block. Ben's wearing that shirt right now.
Western Meat Block
and the
Heck
Dumas
yeah.
brothel. Who doesn't
That's
love
the
a
brand new
brothel
one.
shirt,
Who
eh?
doesn't?
We have a whole brand new launch of Icon tees right now.
About brothels specifically or other businesses?
No, but we do highlight one brothel.
Oh,
The most
perfect.
iconic brothel got a shout out this
It's
year.
the only brothel that matters.
Yeah. Well, it was the
It is
longest
closed,
running.
Mark. Just FYI.
Oh wait, we're talking about shirts. Okay. Backing down.
Oh my
It's
god.
digcitysupply.com, located on Park Street.
What I'd like to present to you guys tonight is the Cedar Park Lanes.
Cedar Park Lanes. Tell me more about Cedar
I've
Park
never been.
Lanes,
It's
Mark Garff.
so good. And not only is it on the north end of town, next to a trailhead, but it also has 12 lanes. It has a bar. It's got some games, and you can bring in your own outside food.
Ooh.
We had our company Christmas party there, and I have to tell you, it was a great night out in Anaconda.
I tell
You know,
what,
Anaconda's
on the
they're
up and
with
up.
it.
I
Yeah.
feel like I've never had a bad time in Anaconda.
I actually agree. I've never had a bad night in Anaconda.
It's really good out there.
Well, I think we should all get together, go to Cedar Park Lanes, and then just take that city by storm.
Let's bowl the heck out of it. And you can bowl up to 12 teams at their 12 lanes.
12 lanes, 12 teams, 12 drinks,
Yeah. What was also great about
Maybe
it
more
is-
than 12
12
drinks.
pizzas you can bring in from the
well,
outside.
yeah. And you might be able to like bring in your own like outside whatever.
Whatnots.
But what was also great about it is everything worked.
It functioned.
Oh,
The atmosphere was amazing. The bartender was hilarious. It was a fun night out.
They're checking. Cedar Park is checking all the boxes.
It's checking all the boxes. And
I
I
had to
had,
bring back bowling.
I mean, we need more bowling. Admittedly, I have not been to the other bowling alley in Anaconda, but now I'm like, well, if this one is this good, what's the other one like?
True. We got to.
It's an arms race for bowling lanes.
Yep. Cedar Park Lanes.
We need to talk about Mark's hobbies because we know like his job, landscape
Job.
architect.
Well, Mark is a connoisseur of so many things,
as I'm beginning to realize.
I like stuff.
and not just a like a
Stuff and
hobby.
things.
He's a straight up connoisseur of some things.
Yeah.
So this is what I know about you. And I want to touch on all these real quick. You're a drummer.
True.
You collect old cars,
Yes.
funky old cars.
Like weird ones, not necessarily good ones.
Perfect. You
Even
are the brainchild behind Old Trucks of Montana on Instagram,
That is me.
right?
Yep. I'm the guy taking pictures of trucks in your front yard. And you run out, you're like, can I help you? And I'm like, oh, I just love your truck. And then everything's okay.
Nice, that's good. You are a Macklemore, a Macklemore
And-
karaoke all-star.
What?
That.
I mean, I learned downtown every word.
Downtown.
And we
To a point where I kind of want to cue it up and just let him roll.
I can't. No. I need to not have had any alcohol. And also,
There's a lot going
there
on.
are so many words in that song.
Downtown.
Well, yeah, I don't have my backup, and I did have
Lot of
backup,
excuses.
and I had another guy with me who was doing.
I could do backup.
That was like, cut the bullshit. I was doing that part. That was his part. But I was the Macklemore part. It was good stuff.
But you're a Seattle guy. He's a Seattle guy.
He's a Seattle guy.
So I see the connection there.
Yeah. Well, and so
He really, I mean, a lot of people like to shit out Macklemore and whatever, but he really had his heyday.
For
He was
sure.
really doing something
he did.
with thrift shop,
Yeah.
thrift store.
Yeah. I mean, he had
Downtown.
he had two unbelievable albums that exploded and like changed how we think about white rap.
That's true. I'm a big hater on white rap, but like you
Yeah.
can get it done.
Yeah, he was getting it done. Yeah, no, those were good times. And so we had a karaoke contest at our company, and I wanted to win it. And I didn't just want to win it. I wanted to destroy everyone else.
And there's visual evidence in the world too. I have
Right.
seen.
Did you like
This
get
video.
in character? Were you like in the persona?
I was not.
costumes and everything.
I mean, we had costumes. I wore like an orange striped pimp suit.
Excellent.
Yeah, and there were four of us, and we just went for it. It was
Oh my
great,
God.
and these were my employees that I forced to like learn this song.
You're on the clock. Let's start memorizing some rap.
Yeah, and
lyrics.
I got the karaoke guy to like send me the song without the without the words.
Right.
They pull everything out or whatever.
Yeah.
But with the lyrics up there, I'm like, all right, we are gonna learn this. And there are so many words.
So many words.
Yeah.
Rap is not easy.
It's not,
No.
and this one was not easy at all. And we did a great job. I mean, we destroyed our competition.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It was really fun.
There's nothing half-assed about it. I can vouch for that.
Well, I think if you're going to do karaoke at all, full send.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see somebody up there like, like,
No, learn the song.
I want to see choreography. Like, I
Yeah.
want you to be so unhinged on the karaoke stage that
Right.
we're all in disbelief.
Know the words so you don't have to look at the screen.
Yep.
That is
Ooh, and
critical.
And then your showmanship can like take forward.
Right.
Right.
You
Take
can
stage.
do, Ben has some really wonderful karaoke chops, complete with choreography with some of his friends.
What?
And it's truly horrific.
Did you just say bonus episode? Is that what
Bonus.
I just heard?
Oh, but
Bonus episode.
sounds good to me.
Ben loves Creed.
No.
You're like,
he
okay,
doesn't-
Ben loves train.
He doesn't love Creed. He loves to perform Creed songs at karaoke with his friends.
That's a
his,
lot different
His
than
male
loving Creed.
confidants.
Uh-huh.
And they have some karaoke that they like to unleash and torment the crowd with. And it's really a spectacle. It's really, truly a spectacle. But that's what karaoke should be, is a spectacle.
Well, right. Yeah.
I'm here for the show.
Yeah, you're here for the show. Like, get out there, perform, know what you're doing, don't half-ass it. Like,
I think the secret of life is when you just go full send, no one's going to even really remember it 10 minutes after you're done. They're going to remember how cool it was in general, but they're not going to like be critiquing your
they probably won't
performance.
remember the specifics.
Even if
just
it
gonna
was
be
bad,
like-
they're still going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
And
got
it's just
something
gonna
there.
be- it is what it
Right.
is. Like, just get after it.
Wow, karaoke. The
world-
Macklemore. Do you have other fun facts about Mark?
Karaoke.
I do have, tell me about this Lemons rally. That's another thing.
What is that?
Oh my gosh. So that's a
And Lemons-
checkpoint rally.
Lemons Rally kind of intersects with your old Trucks of Montana passion and your old car collection.
Lemons as in cars?
Yeah, lemons.
Oh,
shitty
this
cars.
whole time I was singing fruit.
No, shitty
So
cars.
up until
So
right
close.
now, the minute John first said Lemons Rally, I was like, the fruit. The lemon's the fruit.
It intersects with all those like
It's kind of, I can see some overlap.
the car passion
Yeah.
thing, and well, it's the passion for terrible cars, I guess, and that's what the Lemons Rally celebrates. It's like bring your worst car, and try and get through this rally, this checkpoint rally where you've got to drive from. Well, we did Route 66 once
Oh, that's so fun.
in a Lincoln Continental Mark V.
Oh my God.
19,
And it's a race. Right?
1970. Well, it's not a timed race, but if you want to win, you need to hit all the checkpoints and get all the points.
Okay.
And you get more points if your car is shittier. Like the worse your car is, the more points you get at sign in. The older your car is, the more points you get.
My duct tape windows, would that help me?
Yes, it would.
Incredible.
Absolutely would. And then if you break down on the road and recover and can keep going, you get points. It's
Wait,
great.
I love this.
It's a cool phenomenon.
So do you do it in different places?
Yeah, so the Lemons Rally people, they're part of the 24 Hours of Lemons, which is a 24-hour, that is a race. That is a road race where they're trying to like get around the track as fast as they can. So it's part of that, but it's not on a racetrack. It's in America, wherever they do wherever they happen to be doing the Lemons Rally. And so we've done 6 of these now in maybe 4 different terrible cars, all of which I still have.
That's amazing.
So what are those cars? Your Lincoln?
There's the Lincoln, the Continental
year
Mark
is that?
V.
It's like
It's 79.
We had a stinking Lincoln growing up.
Yeah. Plush.
The height of luxury.
At the height of luxury.
It was green.
Yeah, this
The
is
green
this is
stinking
blue.
Lincoln. Yeah.
Cass's mom is the queen of saying, this was a deluxe model in its day.
Oh my God, my mom says the same thing.
Deluxe.
Deluxe.
Deluxe. Well, this was
Love that.
it had a console mounted CB radio.
Mounted?
Yeah, like right in the middle, and you pull it out with the cord, and you're like, breaker one down. This here's the rubber duck. Come on. Oh yeah, for sure. By golly, it's clean, clear to Flagtown. Come on. One of those.
Yes.
And that came from Ford. It says Ford right on the microphone.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. So
So
the
you've got a
Lincoln,
Lincoln, and you still have that in your warehouse.
it's sitting in the warehouse, not running right now. I think it just needs a coil, and I just need to get to it. So, and then there's the Shitsubishi.
Shitsubishi.
You've probably seen the Shitsubishi. It says Nikon in giant yellow letters across the side. It's red, black, and white.
It looks like a race car that would be in the sand dunes.
It's the rally
somewhere.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a rally car tribute.
Okay.
Because Mitsubishi dominated the Dakar rally in the 80s. And so this is our tribute to Mitsubishi's domination.
It's got decals all over it.
all over it. Yeah. So that's the Shitsubishi. Also currently non-running.
0 for 2.
Yeah, it's at Butte Subaru right now because it needs a throttle kickdown cable, which I can't even reach. I can't even see where it goes. And I had to give up and take
Somebody
it in.
else can do that.
Yeah. And then speaking of Subarus, the other rally car is a 1979 Subaru DL wagon that's brown, and we named Brownie Locks.
Oh,
It's really this is a really nice. Car is too nice for lemons. It wasn't shitty enough to like get enough points to win, but it's a really great car, and it's for sale.
oh. I actually had a friend growing up that had one of the DL wagons. Like when I was a kid, like another family that I used to go to their house, they had one of those wagons, but it didn't go in reverse. Like you couldn't reverse it. So you just always had to drive it forward or push
Just
it.
take
Yeah.
3 left-hand turns. and
Uh-huh.
You're good to
Right.
go.
Yeah, it
Good to
couldn't
go.
reverse. Yeah.
I love stories like this from back in the day. I had a truck in high school where my grandpa figured out how to start it. I had this long, like 3-foot long steel rod that I had to just whack the starter. Like I would, after school, like in high school, I'd have to pop the hood and just take this long metal rod and just rail my engine. Just boom, boom, boom. And apparently that loosened up the starter fluid solenoid, something or other.
Well, it shifted it, so it was like it could catch.
All I know is that Grandpa Wick was the man, and
Yeah.
he had me dialed in.
Oh.
So I would just whack my my engine and start right up. No
Yeah.
big deal.
And roll
My
on.
81 Dodge.
Oh my
So
God,
good.
that's amazing.
So
But
good.
those are funny stories.
Yeah. So the last rally car is a 1978. Because again, older the better, more points, right? So they're all pretty old. Toyota SR5 pickup, which is a little tiny truck, a little mini truck, which I've really fallen in love with lately. Like I'm kind of obsessing over mini trucks right now. I almost bought one last week in Bozeman.
Well, when you say mini truck, you're not
Like
saying
how
like these
many?
little like single seaters, like these like Manoli carts they drive in Greece or anything like just a
No,
one timer like little.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
small trucks that you could buy in America in the
Okay,
70s. Yeah, and most of them like they were like Ford badged or Chevy badged or Dodge badged, but they were Japanese cars. They were they were little tiny Japanese trucks. And Toyota never partnered with an American brand, and so they had their own truck that they were selling. They were selling it like crazy because it was super reliable, and that's what this truck is. It's rusted completely apart, but the engine and the powertrain will outlast us all. It's amazing.
I believe that.
Yeah.
No.
And I recently got another one just to like take parts off of it to keep mine going.
Sometimes that's what you got to do, sacrifice.
Yeah. And I don't have time to do any of this, right? Because I still have a full-time job.
Right.
Forget about that part once in a while. Oops.
Oops. Also need to work.
So wait, all of these are these all Japanese trucks or Japanese automobiles?
No, I mean, no, I've got the Lincoln. I've got the
Lincoln, yeah.
I've got the 73 Ford truck, F100.
Oh.
That's up in the driveway. And I feel like I have one more American car. Oh, the Buick. The Ick.
The Buick.
So parked in a garage somewhere along Excelsior is a 1984 Buick Electra Estate Wagon.
Oh my God.
The big one.
The
like-
boat.
Wow.
The boat.
The boat of boats.
Yes. And the inside is brown. It is the color of Salisbury steak sauce.
Oh my God.
Slow clap.
It's
Slow
so
clap.
good.
Yeah.
It's so good. And it's terrible and amazing at the same time.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's a metaphor for so many things.
Yeah, but everything else is Japanese. I don't know. Like, here's the Salt Lake thing coming in again. Like, for some reason, like Japanese dealerships were all over Salt Lake. And that's like, they were very popular there the way they weren't in other places. And so all of our cars growing up were Japanese.
That's interesting.
Yeah, we always had Hondas or Mitsubishis or whatever.
Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't that's something I would have never known.
Whereas my grandpa, he had the old Ford trucks.
Right.
And a Lincoln and a Cadillac and a Jeep and a baby blue Jeep Grand Wagoneer that I still wish was in the family. It's so good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's cool. I've seen some of your cars in the shop down there.
Yeah.
It's quite the collection.
Yeah. There's a Datsun 240Z in there that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That's
There's
like-
some really sweet stuff down
That's
there.
taken care of. Not everything is junk, but
No.
most everything's junk.
But like the junk is still cool. Like it's beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
well, right. And like who else is keeping the junk running? Some
Right.
of us we have to keep it going.
Right.
Or it's gone forever.
Right. And it's cool. It's cool. The weird shit is the coolest shit.
Yeah. Yeah. The stuff you don't see anymore ever.
Right. The most random of randoms.
Yeah.
That's the coolest.
Yeah.
So you have this Instagram account.
Old Trucks of Montana.
When did you start this?
when I moved to Butte because there were so many old beat up, trucks here.
Yeah.
Just parked.
Yeah, just out there like ready to be photographed. And I'm like, man, maybe I should just start an account that's just all trucks. All old trucks. And here we are today. And and everywhere I go, I'm looking for old trucks. Every town I visit in Montana, I'm like, where are the trucks?
Where are the trucks?
There's plenty.
And they're there. They're
Oh,
not
yeah.
hard to find. They're
No.
everywhere. Like I probably took pictures of 10 trucks today.
Just today.
Just
I
today,
believe that.
like around Cardwell.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The old little Montana towns have, I think they only drive old trucks.
Yeah.
There's no other cars there.
For sure.
Yeah, I love the old towns around here that you just like run into, like Pony, Cardwell.
We talked about Pony.
I love, we
Pony's
have some
pretty
really good
magical.
friends that live in Pony. So
Yeah.
we get to visit Pony frequently, and it is so special of a place.
Ennis.
Yeah.
I mean, even though Three Forks is changing a lot, but Three
No,
Forks
but like
is still
the town
amazing.
of
The
Three
town is
Forks,
still,
like everybody think like Three Forks is not just sweet Montana and the exit. Like there's a really cool
no, there's
town.
a cool town down there.
It's very cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing. And like Townsend and just like all these little towns.
Well, that's where true Montana lives, I think.
Yeah.
Like, there's still a lot of there's some like mishmash of whatever's happening.
Like, have you ever gotten off the highway at Wolf Creek, north of Helena?
Yes, we have.
There's a great bar there.
We
Yeah.
have some friends that have a cabin on the lake up there. And so that's where we get off the interstate.
Yeah.
And there's a killer bar there and a
Yeah.
very fun little like hodgepodgey mercantile situation.
But
Yeah.
that's where like the true Montana that's always been here. That's like that's our foundational. Those are our foundational pieces.
That's the magic, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't get off I-15, if you don't
that's
like
the
roll off onto the highway, you're gonna miss the Missouri River. You're gonna miss like Craig, Montana, which is this other like
Craig.
weird little town down
Yeah.
there that just like it's where all the fly fishers go.
Yep.
And there's
You
just
know, Ulm has like the best steakhouse I've ever been to.
Ulm.
Ulm, Montana. It's just before Great Falls on I-15. ULM, Ulm,
I need to see this.
the Beef and Bone Steakhouse. I mean, like, I'm
called
not
the Beef and
joking.
Bone?
It's like the best steak
Nice.
you've ever had. And it's not like it's hardly a town, but it's out there.
What's the place there's a steakhouse in Havre. It's called, I feel like it's called something and Bone.
I haven't been to Havre in like 10
It's
years.
really good. I mean, Havre, like you really have to be committed to go to Havre.
You do.
Like you really gotta want to go there.
Well, right. We have some family friends that live in Big Sandy, so I've been to Havre.
Yeah.
And we've done some Havre stuff, but
That whole
not
High
in a long
Line
time.
is something else.
Yeah, the High Line, like all those towns.
It's so cool. That's Montana.
True.
That's like old Montana.
Do you remember when Ismay, Montana changed their name to Joe Montana? I didn't even live here then, but we all heard about it. America heard about it.
National news. It was national
it was a
news.
big deal.
It was a big deal.
And then I saw Joe Montana at the Super Bowl this year. I'm like, wow, he's still around.
Yeah, he's still kicking.
He actually looks pretty solid.
He looks
He
great.
does. He looks really good. They showed him on the camera. I was,
Yeah.
and I was like, wow, that's
Yeah.
really Joe Montana
Good job, Joe.
in the flesh.
It was good. What'd you guys think of Usher?
Well, I loved it.
I mean, I did too. And
I mean,
I've
roller
heard
skates. Come
That's
on.
I mean-
the minute the roller skates came out, I was like, I'm done. I'm done.
My heart just fluttered.
yeah, it's and he's on them and he's doing it. And
I
roller skates
know.
are
He
hard.
was on them.
Yeah.
I was shocked. And
Yeah.
all of the thing that I want out of a Super Bowl performance is guest stars.
Yes.
right.
So anytime they don't do that, I'm like disappointed. I want them to include their friends.
You want Slash raising up
people.
out of the middle of the stage playing "Sweet Child of Mine."
Yes.
That's what we
Yeah.
want in the Super Bowl.
We want Luda with his,
I want
weird,
Luda.
Weird
No,
shoulder
but where's
pads.
Luda been? I want him. I want him.
Yeah.
I want Lil Jon just screaming at
100%.
people, just
right.
yelling.
Just yelling at people.
And like Alicia Keys and her coming out and just ripping, shredding their instruments,
Yeah.
being so cool. Like I thought it was a really excellent just display of like that era of music and
Yeah.
Usher and like I loved the show. I loved there wasn't a ton of staging.
Right.
So it was actually the longest halftime show of all time.
Really?
because
They
they
didn't
went
have
super light on
setup.
the staging and production.
Yeah, I noticed that like they were actually on the field.
Yep, they had like one platform that was like that
Yeah, that's a good
circular
call,
thing,
yeah.
and with some like spider arms.
Yeah.
But because of that, they got to perform for longer.
Right.
I didn't
Which
realize
I
that,
thought
but
was
that makes
super
sense,
cool.
yeah.
They didn't have to rig Lady Gaga descending
From the ceiling, but that was also
That
an
was also
iconic
amazing.
Super Bowl performance.
That was amazing. And I don't know.
She crushed. That was one with no features where I was like, you don't need it. I don't even care. I'm not missing anybody.
Right. I just
want to.
I just want to see you do your thing and blow my mind.
Yeah,
It was great.
and she did.
Do love 50 Cent Upside Down.
That was a good one.
That was good.
That was really good. But that was also like a lot of artists,
Right.
and doing like a little showcase.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the cool thing.
I wonder if there's like a analysis of Super Bowl halftimes over time.
I'm
Like a
sure there is.
long-term study of like who was there, how long it was,
And I'll
staging,
give
all
you
that sort of stuff. That would be an interesting like academic study.
That would be.
Mm-hmm.
That would be.
Because is it a reflection of our times, or does it?
I think it is. I mean,
does
how
it
good
create our time?
how good was
Well,
Katy Perry?
What?
Well, that was
I mean,
crazy.
yeah.
That was an amazing.
Left Shark stole our hearts.
Left Shark.
Sharks.
Right? We're still talking about Left
Wait,
Shark.
This was like
So
10
good.
years ago.
I know.
The
And she
left-
rolled it. She like rolled it on the tiger,
I know.
singing "Roar."
I know. It was like
It was so on the nose, but also like so
But
amazing.
perfect. But absolutely perfect. Now,
Yeah.
I think, you know,
Let's hear it for animatronic tigers. I mean, I feel like we don't have enough.
I want to bring back some animatronics in live performance. Like I want some real weird shit out there.
That's exactly.
I love my KP. When is TS gonna do one?
You know, I don't know that she will.
I a little bit suspected she was gonna like just
I thought she was gonna come
Show
up
up
through the
Oh, no.
stage
today,
like
or
a
this
Slash rising from the.
just for a minute, but yeah, no.
No?
she had
Because
to be in a box.
here's the situation. She's doing I feel like the Super Bowl, when you get the Super Bowl as an artist, that is like the thing. That is when you get to look back on your time as an artist and be like, here's what I have done. Here are my hits. Here are my cool artist friends. You know, and we're still going to do more stuff, but it's probably going to be a Vegas residency.
So Super
So-
Bowl comes right before
and-
like the
Before
Great
Vegas.
Falls County Fair.
No, Great Falls County Fair. But it is right before Vegas residency,
Yeah, that
which is
makes
still sick. Like to get a Vegas residency, like
Yeah.
that's my retirement plan.
Well, right. Like
but
we're never gonna see you two at the Super Bowl again,
no,
and we shouldn't because
No, we
also
shouldn't.
awful.
yeah, I'd rather not. But I think Taylor doesn't need to do it. Like a lot of people do it because
Well, she's not
they-
done.
Well, she's not done, but she's doing it 3 hours a night on tour right now. She's going through every single one of her records. She's doing the hits. She's doing the Super Bowl
Yeah.
Absolutely killing it.
showcase thing.
Right.
And she also proved that she doesn't need to play the Super Bowl to increase viewership,
Right.
because this was the most viewed Super Bowl
She's
of
done
all
more.
time.
She's
Oh, really?
literally done more
Yes.
for the NFL than any.
This was the highest
Than any
viewed
NFL
Super
star
Bowl
ever.
in the history of Super Bowls because of her. And
I
she was
love
showed
that
like
because-
5 times in the second half.
Right.
for a grand total of like 35 seconds.
Wow.
And
She
that's
didn't
it.
even need to play to like do what other artists do for the Super
But
Bowl.
I also love the fact that she's like she's doing her thing and the attention's on her, but it's also like spinning off to like Brittany Mahomes and
Yeah.
the Packers have Simone Biles.
Well,
goes to
all the
their
NFL
games.
wives.
And it's
like,
just like
there's
all these wives, and like it's kind of bringing in a whole audience. It's bringing
but
in a whole
I'm
other
into the
thing.
NFL wives. I want to see what they're wearing. I want to see what they're doing. Like I want to like Kristen Juszczyk.
Yeah.
So she's been
Crushing
designing
those
clothes, and she blew up because Taylor wore one of her designs. She
Oh, wow.
designed a jacket for her, but she's the wife of a 49ers player. And she's
So-
like had a huge career bump because of Taylor, but also it's kind of sparked this like NFL wives
Yeah.
interest.
Yeah.
But they are all doing cool stuff and they're cool people.
Yeah.
And it highlights the coolness. It doesn't
Yeah.
highlight like, oh, look at this cute,
Well,
No, they're
right.
like doing things.
Well,
they
and-
like have foundations and they're making clothes and it's very cool.
The NFL is the most profitable sports league in history ever.
Yes.
Right. So it's like they didn't need Taylor,
No.
but it's opened up like this whole other, like there's more to it than just the guys on the field doing,
Right.
hitting their heads against each other.
It's like it is actually a cultural thing
Right.
for America, and especially like there was more female viewership of NFL in general this whole season because
Yeah.
of Taylor Swift, but then the Super Bowl had more female viewers than ever before, which I do think is really cool. Like
Yeah.
if there's something we're going to throw our weight behind, that seems like a fun one, at least bringing people together. And it's just, I don't know, I'm kind of into it.
I also think it's spinning off into like 2024 is going to be the year of women's sports in general.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got Caitlin Clark, who at the University of Iowa,
Yep.
who is just crushing the game of basketball.
Uh-huh.
And
Wasn't that like one of the most well-attended college games of all time?
Yeah. So everywhere that Iowa goes, they sell out no matter where they travel. The arenas sell out. And Nebraska volleyball had like 90,000 fans. They played in their football stadium. The Iowa women's team, women's basketball played in the football stadium.
Yeah.
Had like 50,000 people for a women's basketball and women's sports in general is on the up and up. And I think that's so cool.
I'm so
Yeah.
into it. I love watching women's sports. Like Ben played rugby in college.
Yeah.
And there's a women's rugby team at Montana State. It's like so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's the most badass thing I've ever seen. I watched my friend Tiffany clothesline a girl. I was like, this is the sickest thing I've ever seen. Like, it's so cool. And I'm so excited that it's getting the hype it deserves. And it's like bringing women to sports in a new way, but
Yeah.
to also bring women to women's sports.
Right.
And I'm loving it.
And to give women a sense of swagger, like you belong here. You belong. This is a space where you can just do your thing and kick ass, and we're okay with it.
And they
Yeah.
do. And they should have that.
Yeah.
Like, there's no excuse for them to not feel that way. Like, they're
I think it's
freaking
great.
badass. It's so cool.
Have you been to roller derby? At the Butte
No,
Civic
but
Center?
I am obsessed. I've
It's-
not been in Butte. Bozeman has a roller derby team, but
Yeah. So in Butte, it's not a banked oval, obviously, which would be unbelievable
Isn't
if we
that
had
like
one
the
of those.
1985 like Saturday morning roller derby with the banks? And
Yeah.
like,
Oh, so good.
suplex
And it's just
people
like, and
over
they're
the
just
edge.
ripping around there. Yeah. So they're on the concrete floor of the Butte Civic Center. However, they are roller derbying the hell out of each other.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
It's cool.
And you've got the jammers, and they're just like they're ripping around there. It's fun.
it's so
It's
cool.
yeah, and it just feel and I don't know something about like being in the Civic Center with all your other Butians. It's just good stuff in there.
The Civic Center was one of my first Butte experiences.
What?
Yeah. Did you see Foreigner?
No. I have seen Foreigner, but not here. Ben and I saw Foreigner at the Kettle House Amphitheater like 5-6 years ago.
Oh.
It was great. I mean, I loved it. They
Well, yeah. I
they
mean,
have so many hits.
Yeah.
right.
but,
They keep coming. And you're like, you sang this? You sang this?
Right.
You sang
That's
this?
what I said. We were there and I was like, I know all these songs. I didn't know that I knew all these songs and I didn't know you sang them. But I was in the Butte Civic Center when I was a senior in high school because I went to Laurel. I'm from Laurel, Montana. And our girls basketball team won state.
West of Billings, Laurel.
Laurel,
Hell
the
yeah.
city of lights.
Locomotive.
We've been there.
That is what it says.
Lights.
There's a billboard that says Laurel City of Lights, and I can't imagine why they say
You're like-
that, but somebody did
You're
one
like,
time.
where are the
The
lights?
refinery lights?
I think they mean the refinery
It's gotta
lights.
be.
Laurel City of Lights.
Just lighting up the pollution.
Yep. Yeah. We are lit
I mean,
up.
like you do. I mean,
as one does.
let's celebrate our extraction economy.
Yes. Absolutely. But our girls went to state in basketball. They wound up winning state, but state basketball was here. And Central, like they played Central, Butte Central, because they're Class A and we were Class A. But that was one of my first real, like being in Butte experiences and
Yeah.
in the Civic Center.
Yeah.
It's a fun place.
It's an
cool
interesting,
spot.
yeah, and it's so like, please improve the lighting. It's so dark in there, but also,
True.
I mean, we talked earlier off camera about like how important lighting is,
Yes.
and if you're in a bar, you want the lighting to be dim, but if you're in a stadium and it's shining on the field, you want it to like
I want to see.
you want to see what's going on,
Yeah. I'll drink in bright lights to watch a game.
right?
sure.
Right.
Whereas if I'm sitting at a bar, I need it to be, please be dark.
Please be dark and please
feel
don't
cozy.
yell at me.
Right.
Yeah.
Low voices, low lighting.
Right. Less like don't throw your twisted heat can at me.
All comes back to the twisted.
Oh,
I mean,
the
we just.
Twisted Teas.
I feel like we just brought it back.
Do we have any idea who runs the Butte Hole Surfers?
He's
No.
whoever it is, he or she, or them, or they. Like it. I get the sense that it might be more than one person, and I love
think it
them.
has to be more than one person, but I have no idea who it is.
They're my heroes, and I hope they keep doing it.
We love comic relief.
I mean,
Uh-huh.
we
need it
need
in our lives.
We need it. We have to
They're
make fun of
saying
ourselves.
so much that we're all thinking.
We feel it. We all feel it. But we
Yeah.
also all love it here deeply. And that's the thing is I feel like Butte Hole Surfers, like I know they love it deeply here.
right.
Because they wouldn't be making fun of it if they didn't.
And I
Right.
think that's a great point because if like we complain because we care.
Right.
Right.
This is the bottom line.
And we love it here. And we love the
Right.
people here. I love the history.
And we can see
I
the
love the
potential.
wildly nostalgic
Right.
history.
We wouldn't live here if we didn't love it.
Yeah.
Right.
But we know it can be better. Right? We know that we can fix things and that we can improve things and we can make everyone's life better by improving the infrastructure that's around us. And let's work on that all together.
And
And,
they-
at the same
They bring
time,
that to light.
we can kind of make fun of the Butte-ness of Butte
Well, we need to.
because it's super Butte.
It is. We're so Butte.
Like, have you been? So the overlook up at the M, there's that parking lot there before you drive up to the where they do the fireworks and stuff. So when we walk up there with like that's kind of on our route like up to the M. There are so many like people just like dump shit out of their cars.
Yes.
And it's mostly Twisted Tea.
Uh-huh.
Or
Like McDonald's bags.
yeah, or like Peach Bush.
Oh my God.
Well, I'll
That's
bite
a thing
behind
you can
you.
buy.
I know.
Yeah.
That's petrifying.
But
Apple bush is good too.
Really?
Apple Bush?
Apple.
No, it's not.
I don't believe you.
Delicious. I will drink apple bush around a campfire any day of the week.
What the fuck?
365 days. a year.
Sorry, that just slipped out.
Wow.
I don't believe you.
I don't want to change the subject, but
just
apple
saying.
cinnamon Cheerios. I just said it. So anyway, so up at the Butte thing, I don't know who does it. I don't know if it's parks or I don't know if it's a volunteer. Someone cleans that shit up. There's no garbage cans.
Somebody's taking it somewhere.
They come up there and they take it away and it's gone in a couple days. And that's taking care of your town.
Yeah.
Right? There's some knuckleheads that are littering and there's some people who are taking care of it.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's great.
No, it is. That speaks to like the Butte culture that we're gonna make fun of endlessly, but also like there's so many people here that just love this place, including all of us, but like love it and want to see it thrive and want to
Yeah.
keep it clean and want to do better and see it grow in a positive and sustainable way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask John's question.
Go nuts.
Mark, Butte loves to look back at 100 years in the past. That's like we're wildly historic, wildly nostalgic.
Wildly nostalgic.
But our question is, we want this to be the time that people look back on. So 100 years from now, what do you want people to look back on? What do you want your mark to be? Pun intended.
Wow.
I nailed it. I
she's
nailed
like,
that.
She's like, nailed this. Like,
Nailed this. Zinged you.
You had that in the chamber for a while, didn't you, girl?
No, it slipped out and then it came to me. But
Damn.
But 100 years from now, what do you want people to look back and be like, Mark Garff did this, and this time was amazing because of something happening right now?
This time was amazing. Well, I would love to see Butte. Butte is a interesting climate in Montana, right? It's a hard climate. We only get about average of 12 inches of rain per year, which is nothing,
I didn't know that.
right? So it's hard to grow plants here, but they do grow here. And what I would like to see is this town that in the historic photos you always see, like, oh, there's the Never Sweat, and you're looking up the hill and everything is just like brown or gray.
It's like a moonscape. A lot
Yeah.
of times it's
It's-
described as.
Yeah,
It looks like Mars.
it's a moonscape up there. Butte can be green. There are plants that will grow here in this climate and they will grow here without supplemental irrigation. I would love to see like a greener Butte, a greener, more verdant Butte. It's totally possible. You've seen what's happened on the M. That hill, if you look at historic photos, there's not a single tree up there.
Right.
Yeah.
Like barren because of the arsenic coming from the smelter in Anaconda.
Right. Yeah.
Like just nothing grew up there. But now
And it's not that long ago either.
it wasn't
No.
that
It was
long ago.
completely barren.
Right. And so it is possible to grow things here and to make our city beautiful. And if we can plant street trees, if we can think about planting other trees in places that make a difference, like on the edges of parks and on the edges of streets and everywhere around our city, this place is beautiful. It already is beautiful. It can be even more beautiful. And the thing about the pit, everyone's like, oh no, we can't possibly grow anything on there. The soil's too acidic or it's like too much arsenic. Baloney. So last summer, when we got, I don't know how much rain we got last year, 16 inches.
It was a bit
Above
for
average.
sure spring.
It was above average. I saw grass growing on the walls of the pit.
Okay.
Like it was green. So it's possible. We just have to try. And
Yeah.
people in Butte, I feel like have a habit of saying no, or that's impossible, or it's too hard, or we tried that and it didn't work. It's like, well, let's keep trying. Let's figure out a way to like make this place. It's already awesome. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't already awesome, right?
Yeah.
It can be so much better, and it can all blow our minds. And I think part of that is making it, beautiful, and we can do that, and it's possible, and we just need to work for it.
Yeah.
So let's plant some trees and some grass and some shrubs.
Let's do it.
Oh, I'm in. I'm all in.
Yeah.
Did you know we have the only peach tree in Walkerville?
Really?
Yep.
Right here?
Yeah, in the front.
You mean Centerville?
No, we're in Walkerville, Mark. I know the line.
But I can. It says Centerville right at your window.
Just because you can see it doesn't mean that's it.
Let's settle this debate off camera.
So
right?
so you have a peach tree here.
Yes, it produced peaches 2 years ago.
Wow.
I ate them, and I lived to tell the tale. So
We have an apple tree that the original owner and builder of our home planted in
That's incredible.
in the 20s.
yeah,
So it's 100 years old, and it still produces a ton of apples, and they're the yellow mushy ones, but the flavor's amazing. The flavor's quite good. You could, it makes a
good
great
in
apple pie.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at it there, and I'm like, that's right where I want to put my shed.
Oh my God! From the landscape
Dun,
architect.
dun, dun. Well, on that note,
All right.
Yeah, I know.
Mark.
The apple tree's gonna survive. It'll be fine.
Mark, thank you so much for coming, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Mark Garff.
Are we gonna cut to advertising?
Oh my God.
We should do one last fake advertisement.
Let's do it.
What do we want to promote?
Have you guys rented a car from? No. Wait, let's start over. Have you been to Maloney's?
Oh my God. This is a business I will advertise the shit out of.
Yep.
You roll in there like you're done with your shift at wherever else you've been working, and Maloney's is still open.
Yeah,
And
you're clocking in at Maloney's.
you're like, hell yeah, I'm gonna roll into Maloney's and I'm gonna chill with everyone that you know from everyone else that works in
Everybody
Butte.
knows your name.
yeah.
And you hang out there.
You're going to take a $1 watermelon shot that you're going to immediately regret, and you're going to do it every time.
Every single time.
Instantly regret.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yep. And then you'll chase it with, I don't know, a peach bush light.
Yeah. if you're John Wick.
Everybody loves a good apple bush.
That's right.
All right.
Apple cinnamon bush light. That's Maloney's right before 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing better.
And that's the magic of Uptown.
That is the magic of Uptown Butte.
Never lose your spark, Butte.
Never lose it.
Mark, we love you, brother.
Thanks for
This
hanging
was
with
really
us.
fun.
This was
Thanks
too
for mixing
fun.
drinks.
Oh God.
Thanks for planting trees.
We might have to edit the show, but it was really good.
No, I think it's all gold. I think we nailed it.
That's why we pay Ben the big bucks.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. One more shout out to Pork Chop John's.
Cheers.
Everybody right here.
Of all the places.
Thank you for listening to Of All the Places podcast. We're produced by Morris Mountain Studios in partnership with 5518 Designs. Our theme music is by Desperate Electric. We hope to see you soon. Thanks so much, and be well out there.
Be well and be wise.
There it is.